If you want to know how women are in any age, between the ages of 16 and 18, she's like Africa, unexplored. Between the ages of 19 and 35, she's like Asia, hot and exotic. Between the ages of 36 and 45, she's like America, fully explored, breathtakingly beautiful, and free with her resources. Between the ages of 46 and 54, she's like Europe, exhausted but still has points of interest. But after 56, she's like Australia. Everybody knows it's down there, but no one cares. Manager hired a new secretary. She was young, sweet, and polite. One day while taking dictation, she noticed his fly was open. While leaving the room, she courteously said, "Oh, sir, did you know that your barracks door was open?" He did not understand her remark, but later on happened to look down and saw that his zipper was open. He decided to have some fun with his new employee. Calling her in, he asked, "By the way, Miss Jones, when you saw my barracks door open this morning, did you also see a soldier standing to attention?" The secretary, who was very witty, replied, "Why no, sir. All I saw was a little disabled veteran sitting on 2 duffel bags." How to impress a woman. Compliment her, cuddle her, kiss her, care for her, love her, tease her, comfort her, protect her, hug her, hold her, spend money on her, wine and dine her, care for her, stand by her, support her, go the end of the earth for her, buy Valentine's gift for her, always remember your wedding dates, give her attention, give her a massage, take her out on fancy restaurants and treat her like she's the only queen in the world. How to impress a man. Go up to him without clothes. 3 women were sitting around talking about their husband's performance as a lover. The first woman says, "My husband works as a marriage counselor. He always buys me flowers and chocolate before we make love. I like that." The second woman says, "My husband is a motorcycle mechanic. He likes to play rough and slaps me around sometimes. I kinda like that." The third woman just shakes her head and says, "My husband works for Microsoft. He just sits on the edge of the bed and tells me how great it's going to be when I get it." Couple is working in the garden and the wife goes to take a shower. Her husband is looking for a rake and can't find it. He yells up to his wife, but she motions to him from the window that she can't hear. So he points to his eye, hits his knee, and then makes raking motions. "I need the rake." She replies by pointing to her eye, grabbing her left breast, slapping her butt, then rubbing her crotch. The man is confused and runs upstairs. What was that?" The woman said, "I left it behind the bush." Once, there was a little boy who was curious about what a club was like. So one day he decided to sneak into one. Once inside, he watched as the strippers danced. He watched until they started taking off their clothes. That's when he bolted out the door and started running down the street and into a man. The man asked the boy, "What's wrong, young man? You look like you just saw a ghost." The little boy replied, "My mommy and daddy told me that if I ever watched anybody undress, I'd turn to stone. And all of a sudden, I felt something go hard." A blonde and a brunette walk into a bar. As they sit down, the brunette notices a guy checking out the blonde. So the brunette decides to go and talk to this guy. She walks up to him and says, "I see you've been checking out my friend. You know, the blonde sitting over there, she's pretty, isn't she?" The guy responds, "Oh man, she's just gorgeous, absolutely beautiful." The brunette says, "Well, for $50 I can arrange for you to smell her crotch." The guy says, well, yes, of course. He pulls out the money and hands it to her. She takes it and breathes in his face. 3 priests were taking a shower together in a church. They ran out of soap. Thinking the church was empty, one walked down the hall to the supply closet. Halfway back, the naked priest saw 3 nuns walking towards him. He immediately froze and pretended to be a statue. The first nun took one look and said, "What a realistic looking statue." The second nun reached and felt the priest's dick, and he dropped the bar of soap. "Wow, a dispenser!" she exclaimed. The third nun reached over, pulled on his dick, and said, "Hand cream too." It's a beautiful warm spring day, and a man and his wife are at the zoo. She's wearing a cute, loose-fitting, sleeveless pink spring dress with straps. As they walk through the ape exhibit and pass in front of a very large gorilla, the gorilla goes ape. He jumps up on the bars, holding on the one hand and 2 feet, grunting and pounding his chest with the free hand. He's obviously excited at the pretty lady in the wavy dress. The husband notices his excitement and suggests that his wife tease the poor fellow. The husband suggests she pucker her lips, wiggle her bottom, and play along. She does, and Mr. Gorilla gets even more excited, making noises that would wake the dead. Then the husband suggests that she let one of her straps fall. She does, and Mr. Gorilla is just about to tear the bars down. "Now try lifting your dress up your thighs," the husband says. This drives the gorilla absolutely crazy. Suddenly the husband grabs his wife by the hair, rips open the door to the cage, slings her in with the gorilla, and says, "Now tell him you have a headache." A young man is starting his first ever job at a morgue. The boss of the morgue thinks, "I'll throw him in the deep end on the first day. Give him a real challenge." So he takes the young man to the door and he tells the young man, "Behind this door is a room with nothing in, apart from a dead old woman lying completely naked on a slab. You have to go in and inspect her body." "Inspect her body?" the young man asks. "Yes," replies the boss. "Check if everything is okay." So the young man goes through the door into the room, and the boss waits outside. After what seems like a very long time, the young man comes out of the room. "Everything okay?" asks the boss. "Yes," answered the young man, "except one thing. She's got a prawn stuck up her pussy." "She's got a prawn stuck up her pussy?" exclaims the boss, astonished. "Yes," replies the young man. The boss decides he has to go in and check this out. So he goes into the room and the young man waits outside. The boss quickly returns and the young man says, "See, I told you, that's not a prawn, that's her clitoris," explains the boss. "Well, it tasted like a prawn," answered the young man.